And we're live. Now that Twitch finally shown me my own stream, I can start commentating. So hello and welcome to a late night, at least for me, a late night streaming session of Oduction. Let me see if we get all the audio correctly. I hope it works. Last time it didn't work. I didn't get any of the game audio. So let's check that real quick. Yeah, I think that works. So, Oduction. I think it was released earlier this week. Let me adjust the microphone real quick. It was released earlier this week after another, delay of a month. A Kickstarter game, and I didn't really participate in Kickstarter. I'm one of those guys that noticed this much too late that this is actually a thing. So I've purchased over the website, with a humble contribution, and thus became effectively a backer myself. So it's not a pre-order. I'm a backer of this game, and for the uninitiated, Oduction is the new title by Cyan Labs. I don't even know if these guys are called Cyan anymore. The guys that made Myst and Riven and what have you, they made lots of games. There was also URU, or Yuru, I think it was deliberately called URU. The online world that they created, they called themselves Cyan Worlds back then. And so this is the first big game after Myst 5, End of Ages, I think. And the intermediary release of Yuru as a standalone package, or I don't know. But this is their new game. Kind of like Myst in that you're thrown into a world that seems to be lived in, that people used to live in. And, well, they don't anymore. So you're a lone wanderer. You see how every shop and every building here, apparently there was some use to it. So here's like a backgammon table. People lived here, but no, nobody's living here. And you're just wandering around and wondering what happened here. I think it's not a big spoiler, especially with regards to the name of the game. The weird thing is that this looks like a western town. Wild West town. And then you have these alien landscapes in the back. And then, the area that I can currently traverse is quite limited. So if I go to try to get to that place back there, it doesn't let me. Actually, you can see from here that you think, what's that? The bright thing there? That's actually the same area, but through this little tunnel. You can't. There's a force field, and interestingly, the force field is going right through these, these stone formations. It's as if this has been dropped right in the middle of it, and even this looks like there's a force field or shield around. So this is like an alien planet. I mean, of course it's an alien planet. There's a sun, there's a moon or another planet, I don't know. And in the middle of it is a Terran, human, western town. What's Hartnell map? Yeah. Mercantile, of course, Mercantile. So the shopkeeper. And all the story tidbits that you get so far are conveyed through this.
We have a healthy, thriving community here, as you can see. Our garden was planted years ago and has supplied plenty of food for many generations. The buildings around town serve multiple purposes, including housing, schooling, and storage. I'm sure you have run across a number of folks already. Many were brought here, like you, and some actually were born here. We all feel we are a part of the whole.
So this guy introduced himself earlier as the mayor of this little enclave, and as he said, many other people were brought here, like me, and this is a weird way to look at my own ground shadows, but yeah. I shouldn't see my feet that way, but anyway. Yeah, and he said that many people were brought here and others were born here, so definitely I'm not the first guy that was brought here against my will. I mean, if it was against my will, is debatable, because the action that I had to take at the start of the game to get here is, well, it was deliberate. So, to a certain degree, I went here on my own. So, can I interact with this? No. Anything I can do here? I mean, if there's a plank there for a reason, but no, nothing I can do. So, yeah, and this is as far as I got so far. So anything from here on out is me exploring the game without knowing anything. I haven't really looked at any diaries, development diaries or anything, because I'm just a lazy buy-in backer. So I'm not one of those crazy backers that might have had any insights into the game. I don't know if that even existed. One thing I've noticed is there's the micro stutters. I haven't installed this game on my SSD. I have installed it on my normal hard drive. So I already noticed some stuttering. So that's a backer reward item. Interesting. And the frame rate is okay-ish. It's above 50 in any case, but in these bigger open areas it really, you know, goes down into the 40 area. This is the high preset. It even goes to epic. So I'm kind of afraid that my trusty 770 is getting too old for games like this. Sure, this game is based around, you know, looking really nice. And they've chosen the right engine for it. This is an Unreal Engine 4 game. And it really shows. I mean, the lighting is just great. You have, like, these things with occluded lighting, and you have overbrighting. I think there's even ambient occlusion going on here. That's definitely ambient occlusion. Right there. Well, now you can't see it, but I think it looks good. But of course, it takes its toll on my somewhat older GPU, especially as it only has 2 gigs of VRAM. So there's some laser. It's firing here. I can pass it. Interesting. There's another laser going there. And I've seen these animals before, so I wonder, what do we have here? Water. That was music.
Lasted long. You should have been. I thought you'd all been. The devil are you? Good Lord, Neville. Now? It's a bad time to be arriving here. They should have listened to me. But I'm going home. Maybe it's good
Well, that was eye-opening to a certain degree, because, well, you could call it debatable, but I like it. It's totally keeping in tone and aesthetic of Mists 1 through 4. 5 was different. For those of you who don't know, the Mist games always embedded video snippets into their games, and the Miller brothers, who formed this company, Sign Worlds, they were always smart enough to integrate it in such a way that the full motion video, as limited as it was, wasn't clashing with the environments. And with the previous Myst games, it wasn't that big a deal, because those were depending on still images or, 360-degree panoramas anyway. So you just had to make sure that the video you embedded was placed in such a way that it wouldn't look jarring with changing perspectives. But in some of those situations, they just forced the perspective, so you couldn't even change it. So then I think they kept this going with Myst 3 and Myst 4. Myst 3 and 4 had these 360-degree panoramas that you could look around in. And then Myst 5, End of Ages, was done in fully 3D, real-time 3D, and what they did is they taped the actors' faces and then placed them on the polygon bodies, which looked a bit weird because they spoke and not always did the geometry of the face match it. That was weird. There you go. So that's what they did in End of Ages, and now apparently they went back into using full motion video. Interestingly, at a lower resolution than I expected, but that was the first video so far. Let's see what the rest will bring. That door I can't... Oh, even that thing. That's a typical door not opening thing that they did in Mist's past. Anything I could do with this? No. Oh, that's just light. Let's get up here. Anything to see here? More planks. So instead of following that path, I'm going here. It's looking nice. I wonder if this will flood anything, but so far it doesn't look like it. Well, okay. Didn't even reduce the water level here. I mean, sure, it looks a bit plasticky. I think that's always the problem with this kind of water shader. At good angles, this looks like actual water and then some, reflections. But at a certain angle, it starts to look like it's plastic or gelatine or not actually water. But, at certain angles, looks actually good. And the different flows of water and it, here to... streams joining. That looks good. Looks really good. So now this stopped working. Interesting. Fair enough. I don't know what it will do, but... Ah yes, the force field. And a plant or something.
Perhaps I weren't as clear as I needed to be. You get that carbon power turned on while I work on my part here. I ain't got no time.
Oh, that stuff doesn't even hurt me. That's good to know. By the way, I'm constantly... This is the normal walking speed. I'm more or less running all the time because... I'm impatient.
Part of our ecosystem here is our supply of water. It is supplied as a natural process of the system itself, and we don't really understand how. Although the entire system is very closely tied together. The fact that one of the most important necessities of life has been provided to us has led many to believe that this place has a purpose. Others attribute a complex natural process which we one day hope to understand. But either way, we are glad to have all the water we need.
Wonderful. That didn't work. Okay. So I can redirect the flow of water. Which is great, as I have no clue what the redirection will do at the moment. Fair enough. But maybe that's the part that's needed to make this work. There you go. Of course it was. Also, this is now the free roam mode. The game also has a point and click mode, and where it has across the paths several points that you can click on, and then the game moves you there. So it could then be a bit like original Myst. But I found that this environment is made for free roaming. So I actually prefer it that way. But just to show you what you can do, you can go to settings and then go to point and click. And you see you have these turquoise beacons. And then, your character walks there slowly. If you hold the shift key, it will go a bit faster. And interestingly, what it will do once it reaches its destination, it will also move the camera So you sort of... it points you to a certain direction or where you could go or something, so... yeah. But to me, it's really slow. So, prefer free roaming. That's interesting. Looks like this thing can create electricity. Of course, it doesn't at the moment. Okay, that's surprising. Of course it's closed. What else? So, I need fuel. So, question is, I think this looks like it's transmitting the energy, and this will be the fuel line. We'll see. And all of a sudden, the train line stops. Just like that. And if I heard that right, and not my overlay system is doing anything wrong, there's a new follower. Yar1996. Welcome to the stream if you're watching. So let's see, anything in here? Like a reward item. Okay. Okay. I need a key number to enter this. Number key? Yeah, a number. a number I don't have at the moment. So let's continue exploring. And this is what I meant earlier. It's like, see, right dab in the middle of this stone formation, this force field goes. It's like whatever it is where I am, it has been thrown or placed right into this. Okay. No way for me to get there. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's actually doing anything, but always well worth a try. In a certain way, and this is just me, you know, voicing a suspicion. Okay. You know, the way I've been transported away to this place and how, you know, the mayor and other people talk about getting home and all this other kind of stuff. And the game being called Oduction. There you go. Interesting. I could imagine that this is a whole part of America that has been plucked out of planet Earth and been thrown into this area on an alien planet. So, but that's just me. So the fuel line says it's still empty. Well, okay, I don't see what I could do here, so let's go somewhere else. And you know what? I don't care. I want some better frame rate. Bit better. And apart from less anti-aliasing, Don't really see that it's visually any worse. Let's keep that one for a while. Okay, so that was this part of the river. Oh, I have an idea. Okay, spacebar is not jump. It's making a photo. And interestingly, it doesn't work the other way around. Of course not, because there are no marks on the ground that would suggest that one, but okay. No, he wants me to turn on the power again, but so far, I'm not very successful. Once the floodgates have been opened, I can't close them again. Mm-hmm. He probably has nothing else for me to say. Except for get going.
You think this is some kind of crazy game? Go turn on the power, or I'll do it myself.
Well, then do it yourself, because I have no idea how. For someone who wants my help, he's kind of a prick. Another funny thing that I noticed is that this game has the tendency, if you walk straight, you have one speed, but if you strafe, it seems to be quicker. Really interesting. As if the acceleration, the forward acceleration and the sideways acceleration are both added to make you go faster. But it was something that lots of old shooters, or an issue or a peculiarity that lots of old shooters had. It's funny to see it in this game as well. So nothing to do there. This is where I actually came from, where the whole game started. Not the whole game, but this part of the game. Because interestingly here, what you see, and this is circular, inside this stone cave, you see there is this circular cutout of the area, and this is the thing that brought me here, is the area that I stood in before I was brought here. So this is what happened on a small scale. Oh, funny how this thing is actually going clipping through the whole lamp. I think that's not intended. Yeah, so effectively whatever brought me here, it brought me and my surroundings with me. And the same seems to be true for the rest of it all. Because that as well seems it's like been cut out and just placed here. So I think my theory wasn't that stupid. So let's see if we can't somehow turn on electricity. That's interesting. Don't know if that was intended. So whatever I'm supposed to do, I'm not totally mistaken, the game expects me to be able to do it here. You see, I'm amazing with puzzles. It says sewer. Duh. Well, I can turn this. But this doesn't look like it has any meaning. Any meaningful change. I think it's still empty. Hero. So yeah, consider me lost. I'm supposed to switch on the electricity. I have no idea how. This stuff I can't reach. The oil pump doesn't seem to do anything. This machine apparently needs to have a full fuel tank to do anything. So yeah, at this point I'm totally lost. But that's probably okay. Is there any hint mode? Hint glints. Well, let's turn them on then. Better use hints than get stuck forever. There doesn't seem to be a way in this enclave. Because there is no door. Weirdly enough. Or if there is, I haven't found it yet. Also, interestingly, no way inside this gas station. Which you would expect if this is the front of the gas station and this is the garage. But well. Hmm. How do I get that down? Let's try that again. Okay, my bad. Nothing. Also nothing else of interest here. That doesn't do anything. That is off. Nothing here. Thing doesn't work anymore. Yep. So it's glinting, but that doesn't do me any good. Yeah, this looks like something else that was teleported here for no reason, and that it broke with the card system here. Stuff is glowing red and I don't know why. Stuff is not red. Okay, that doesn't get me anywhere. Okay, so the hint glint more or less just tells you what you can use, but not if it's helpful in any way to your current situation. At least that's what it seems like. So someone painted over there. But in my current situation, this doesn't do me any good, does it? So yes, I'm hopelessly stuck, and I'm sorry, but this was just, you know, first impressions, just walking about, running around the game. So far, it gives me a clearly missed vibe, especially those pre-recorded FMV actors. That's totally a missed thing, so it could be a bit cheeky, but I still think it's a nice touch. Overall visual appearance is really good, even though it wreaks havoc to the frame rates. I think it looks a bit worse on the stream even. I'm trying to always do a 720p 60 upstream, but for some reason, you know, in this game, apart from some other areas, this is not really happening, or this is not really achievable, sadly. But I've been pondering the idea of getting myself a new GPU anyway, so it would be a bit weird if Oduction is the game to finally push me over the edge. But so far, you know, especially in these open areas, the game at this point is really working hard to keep a somewhat decent frame rate. I mean, I've been looking around now and I see there's definitely, you know, it's dipping into the 30s at some points. Doesn't detract from the game so far because it's not really action-oriented, but of course the torn frames look bad, and but it's looking beautiful. I mean, you have to give it that. It has its rough edges. For example, here you see this is clearly a texture of multiple cables being strung together, placed on this. The grass is not reacting to my movements, and I can see my feet weirdly moving about. And if I strafe left to right, I see my character effectively, you know, just doing a forward walking motion, just sliding from the left to right. So it's okay if I look down like this. But it's already looking weird if I'm, you know, strafing. So that's one detail they definitely didn't put a lot of work into. I mean, understandably. Oh god, again. Also, first-person game, I always press space to jump, but you can't jump, and instead you have to rely on these ramps to get anywhere, because you can't get up here anyway. Here, the textures look a bit blurred, you know. This reminds me, this thing right here, this texture of wood being under the train tracks, and then the train tracks being actual objects. This reminds me so much of Counter-Strike and of Source Engine specifically, even though this is Unreal. So yeah, yeah, I'm hopelessly stuck. So I will try to find a solution and maybe stream this game a bit more over the week. I think I will focus on World of Warcraft for the next few days. Let's see if there's going to be a stream in there as well. Legion is coming out next week. I will get it imported from the UK, so it might take a day or two longer for me to dive right in. If you're playing World of Warcraft and if you're into Legion, if you want to participate in Legion, don't forget that the pre-launch events are still going on. There's gonna be invasions that you can do, certain achievements that you can get as within the pre-launch events, so do them now. That's what I will focus on a bit later in the week. Also, there's some No Man's Sky coverage in the works. I've tried out quite some amount of mods which really changed the game, or changed huge parts of the game, and I haven't even installed the most outlandish ones. So yeah, that's then a bit more Abduction. I will probably not do full coverage of this. Instead, I will just play the game a bit and then follow this up with a more impressions video later on. First impressions for this game, as I said, you know, there is a term for this now these days, and it's called a walking simulator. It is a walking simulator, especially if you switch off the speed mode. It can be played in point-and-click mode at a much more pedestrian pace, given a clear mist vibe. It is a spiritual successor in many ways. So far, it's a beautiful game. Haven't found lots of glitches. It's just having the same problems that all these walking simulators have. Is like, I can walk over this stone, but I can't walk up or jump these things. So very linear paths. You can only go where the game designers want you to go, but which is kind of okay, because that way they can control what you can see, what you can't see, and it also helps you to not glitch the game. And oh yeah, now that I've said it, didn't I say something about circular areas always being transported? So it looks like this is just a piece of an, you know, of a train yard that was transported right into this place, because here you see how it's been cut into this stone formation right there. So interestingly, I've only noticed this right now. This makes sense because you see this cut out right here. This is cut out, and then you have this cut out here. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's Abduction for you. So if you're into this kind of game, if you're into Myst, definitely take a look at it. Reviews so far seem to be decent. Apart from the fact that I haven't really paid lots of notice to what the guy behind this one door told me, because I was fiddling around with the stream. You know, maybe he had vital information for me that I could now use to actually get going. But so far, looking good. Try it out. It's sorry for that, it's getting late here, so try it out if you want. Or maybe look some more Let's Plays of other guys, but that's it with Abduction for me. Thank you for watching, and wherever you are, good morning, good night, have a nice day.